The fool has said in his heart, there is no God.
My here book of atheism says that fools say God do exist, so obviously God does not exist.
A second great question is unavoidable and inseparable from the question of God's existence. Whether there is life on earth because of blind, dumb luck through evolution, or because of special creation by a supreme being.
First of all, life isn't on Earth because of evolution. Life is on Earth because of abiogenesis. Evolution is the idea that organisms change over time. Abiogenesis is the idea that living things came from non-living things. Secondly, evolution is not based on blind, dumb luck. Evolution is based on natural selection.
I learned it takes far more faith to believe the intellectually fashionable evolutionary myth than that God exists. In fact, I learned evolution is based entirely on faith, because no true facts or proof have ever been found to support it.
Wow, really? Not even fossil evidence? Observable microevolution? What about analogous structures? Is all that just going to be blown out of the water? If it is, I better be presented with really good argument against them. Also, non-religious people would say that he has his ideas of creation and evolution vice versa, so I'm interested in seeing how he turns that around.
The religions of this world have created many gods of wood, stone, and other materials. Others exist only in the minds of men. The ancient Greeks alone served 30,000 gods, and modern Hindus worship 5 million gods. Truly, there are and always have been gods many and lords many. Yet God created all the physical materials men use to design and make their own gods. Sadly, there is not in every man knowledge of the true God.
No. I know that the Old Testament says that they do, but people do not construct things and then worship them as gods. If people construct an idol, that idol isn't considered a god, it's considered a representation of what they believe their god looks like. Other religions aren't based on material deities. In fact, they assert that their deity exists in a very similar manner as you say yours exists.
The Bible's God has shown the way to peace, happiness, and abundant life for all people willing to study His instruction book.
Really, because it seems to me like a lot of the instructions in the Bible are psychologically damaging. Most notably, the suppression of sexual desires, the denial of basic human rights, mostly to women, but also to slaves, and the fear of eternal torment and punishment that God will ensue upon you. And also eagerly awaiting an apocalypse that was supposed to have happened a couple thousand years ago.
Of course, some don't want this God to exist because if He does, they must obey Him.
And that is the Christian view of atheism. They don't seem to grasp the concept that it is possible for people to come to the conclusion that God does not exist because of their own reasoning. Heck, I'd go so far as to say if there is a God, then He is allowing me to disbelieve in Him.
Be willing to accept science. As we reason, do not suppose or hope. Stand on indisputable facts.
And you should too.
Now, before starting this study, remember, assumptions don't count. Neither do superstitious myths or traditions based on ignorance.
You mean like religion? I'm sorry, that was mean. God. Dawkins. Science.
Only accept facts. Think rationally and clearly. Then accept what can be proven.
I'm going to end this video here because what he does next is a video all on its own. As you can probably tell, I'm going to try to make this a series. Anyways, remember, it's not unreasonable to be religious, but I do want you to think for yourselves. Goodbye. We read upside down here in the fifth dimension. It's kind of like Australia.